Hi, I'm Sik.
And I'm Twisted.
And this is a Sik and Twisted Horrorcast. Hi, guys, and welcome to this week's podcast. I'm Sik.
I'm Twisted.
And we're here to talk to you about some crazy stuff, man.
And we definitely got some upcomings to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
The first one is one that we saw a trailer for, starring, I think it's Bex
Taylor Klaus.
Bex Taylor Klaus, Amy Forsyth, and Tony Todd.
Yeah, Tony Todd, man. I remember him in The Crow. That's what I knew him the best from, because he was the main bad guy that was like in everything back in the day.
My God,
he was his homeboy with like the sniper and stuff.
I forgot. Yeah. Final Destination, Candyman.
Oh, yeah.
Crow. He's just constantly in horror.
But he hasn't been. I haven't seen him in anything in recent years.
Recent years that I can think of, he played a huge part in a movie called Sushi Girl.
Never heard of that.
It is a fantastic movie. Tony Todd, Mark Hamill.
Oh, jeez.
Mark Hamill plays like a sadistic, twisted, like this whole. It's like a whole robbery crew. It's it's crazy. I'll show it to you. That's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. So this movie, Bex Taylor Klaus, Amy Forsyth, and Tony Todd, called Hellfest.
I'm actually really intrigued by this because I've worked in haunted houses before and I loved it. And so this thought has always passed through my mind on what would happen if you made actual death in a track.
The concept makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
It's a simple concept because pretty much the basis behind it is there is a killer, a masked killer, roaming around a haunted house. It's like this big haunted attraction, and he's actually killing people. But how can you tell who's getting actually killed and what's just an attraction?
Right. Yeah, I've always been intrigued in that. So I'm really excited for that movie.
Yeah, and they even show in the trailer, they were like a security guard just I can't arrest people for doing their job, man.
Yeah, you paid to get scared.
And I'm like, that's brilliant because that takes away the factor of the cops.
Yeah, it takes away any help that you could possibly have because it's more like, they're screaming. It's a fucking haunted house.
Exactly. Right? It makes sense.
Yeah.
So definitely one to look forward to. Yeah. Pretty excited about that one.
Oh, yeah. Unfriended Dark Web.
Yep, that is our next one. Did you get a date for Hellfest?
I did not. I'm gonna look it up real quick for you.
That trailer just dropped on today. The official trailer just dropped today.
Really?
So,
let's see. September 28th.
Okay,
actually,
September 28th. Awesome. Unfriended is the next one we've got. Unfriended the Dark Web.
Yes.
This is starring Jake Paul.
God, don't.
I mean, here's the thing. The concept looks good.
It does. It looks a lot better than the first one did, where it was like a ghost haunting the airwaves.
See, but here's the thing. I'm kind of backwards on that.
I refused to watch the first one, which I know that I'm going to for the sake of this podcast.
But I think that the first one was good because of how brutal it was.
Was it?
It was really brutal.
Then I'm gonna have to watch it because I love brutal.
Made people kill themselves.
That's kind of rad.
I'm a little bit of a spoiler for you. I'm just gonna tell you a death makes somebody shove a hot curling iron down their throat.
Yo, I'm down.
Yeah, brutal. But so the first one was a paranormal revenge movie. Yeah. The second one. So anyway, this started Jake Paul, Betty Gallipeel. She played in Get Out, the third Purge movie, and Upgrade.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's in that, and then Colin Woodell as well.
What do I know him from?
He's not in a lot, actually.
Really?
I think he did a small bit in something you might know. What was see.
Again?
What was it?
Nothing.
No, you didn't. I think it was.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah. I can't think of anything.
Well, I thought I've seen him in something, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Anyways, so this one, whereas the first one was a paranormal revenge movie, this one is a kid that after finding a laptop at the place that he works. He takes the laptop, and while he's on group chat with his friends, starts snooping through it, finding a bunch of like snuff films of people getting killed.
I like the scene where they pop open that like 30-gallon drum, and you see the girl inside with her eye and shit. Like, oh God,
it looked good.
Love stuff like that.
And then people from the dark web of the kind of the black market of the internet find them. And start chatting them through and start killing them off one by one.
I really like that concept. I love the dark web.
Concept is interesting. I just don't know how I feel about a sequel that goes from its predecessor being paranormal to this one just being
hyper-realistic.
Like excessive realistic.
Well, yeah, not hyper-realistic. Sorry. But, yeah, definitely excessive.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. July 20th.
Yep.
It's going to be actually the day this one releases?
Yeah, that's the release
date.
The
day this one comes out. All right, so July 20th, Unfriended the Dark Web. Check it out if you want to.
Yeah.
And then...
You told me about this one today.
This last one was some big news. This one was just dropped 3 or 4 days ago.
Heck yeah.
Zombieland 2 is officially getting its sequel.
After all the rumors and the years and years of rumors,
I thought this was going to be like a freaking Half-Life 3 crap. Just like...
Oh, don't
never
go
ending,
there.
Never ending. So... Yeah, no, this one is official. It is confirmed, the sequel with the original director and the original cast.
Yes.
They are aiming for October 2019 release, from what I've seen.
Oh, please.
The quote that I've seen so far is from the White House to the American heartland.
Saw that.
As they face off against new kinds of zombies that have evolved since the first movie, as well as new... human survivors.
I'm excited to see some Left 4 Dead type zombies, dude.
I think it'll definitely be interesting to see what they do with the evolution of zombies.
Yeah, it'll be different.
I had a huge Zombieland conspiracy theory, but I think we may save that.
We'll get into that at a later date.
Save that for a different... We'll see what time, how long this one runs. Our last episode ran much longer than we anticipated, so...
Yeah.
Anyway, so... Yeah, I mean, as you can kind of see, there's a lot of sequels coming out. Mm-hmm. And I kind of got a little bit of sequelitis today.
Yeah, so I see.
And so I'm running through... a sequel set on this one. It's a good and a bad today.
I'm coming into this wet because I've gotten so much flack from everybody for not watching these movies, especially being such a Stephen King fan and such a horror fan that I haven't seen these. Is kind of surreal.
It's surreal that you're doing this podcast without seeing it. We're talking about The Mist today, folks. Frank Darabont's The Mist is my good one of the day.
I've heard so many good things about this. After this podcast, I'm going to go watch it.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's got it's got one of the most controversial Stephen King endings.
Yeah, I have seen the ending. Of course, everybody's seen the ending.
Almost everybody's seen the ending. It is, and we'll get into that later because there's actually some interesting factoids about this ending. Mm-hmm. But one of the immediate pieces of trivia that I found was Stephen King said he was genuinely frightened by this adaptation of his novel. And Frank Darabont, the director, said that it was the happiest moment of his career finding that out.
Yeah, that would make my lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
To say, for Stephen King to go, wow, that scared me.
Exactly.
Oh.
So, if you don't know, The Mist is an adaptation based on a Stephen King novel. Mm-hmm. The military specifically has kind of tampered with interdimensional portals in a mountain outside of where else but Maine.
Everything in a Stephen King novel takes place in fucking Maine.
King either loves Maine or hates Maine. Maine's his main man.
Don't start. No, we're not doing this today.
Look, all I'm saying is that this movie got me a little misty-eyed.
Oh, my God.
Anyways. So, In this movie, the military has been messing with portals. They open up a portal, releasing monsters, but all that you see is a giant wall of mist that rolls toward this town. This mist kind of engulfs the town as our main character, played by Thomas Jane, heads into town with his son to go to the supermarket. And while they're there, the mist rolls over, and everybody's kind of confused, not really scared.
Is it before the mist comes through, or as the mist is coming through, that the military starts trying to evacuate people?
So I think it was just before. There's a couple of military guys that comes through, and I think they were saying that they needed to get out. As they were coming in. But they weren't like super like pumped up about it.
Oh, okay.
You know, they were. It was if I can remember correctly, it was just they were trying to like just us some people out. But no. So anyway, so the mist rolls in, and monster. Everybody's kind of waiting. They're not really going anywhere, except for. What was it? Something happened.
Was it the bag boy trying to go after the generator kind of thing?
See, no, that was like a big issue because the bag boy went to the generator room later in the movie and was taken by a giant tentacle as he was trying to fix the generator.
Right.
It got under the door and grabbed him, and they cut it off. But as soon as they cut off the tentacle, it melted away. So there was no proof.
Oh, okay.
And they were trying to convince people that, oh my God, this crazy thing happened. Come look, come look.
Right.
Nobody would look.
See, just so you guys know, the only additions that I'm throwing in there are off of the Wikipedia notes that I read before doing this. So I'm just trying to figure out between those notes what's really going on here. Just so I can get some back and forth.
It's been like... I watched it like a month or two ago.
Yeah. And
like it's always something that I just enjoy watching. It's a controversial movie. Everybody's back and forth on it. And it's mainly because of that ending.
Whenever I ask people what's your most favorite or least favorite ending, people will either pick it. It's always in almost everybody that I talk to, it's either their most favorite or it's their least favorite.
Oh, yeah.
You know, always.
And, you know, it's... And we'll get into it. I'm trying to save it because it's going to be a long thing. But no, anyway, so it was. So anyway, everybody's stranded in the store. I think they saw somebody die, or they ran out and heard somebody scream.
Okay.
So they've barricaded themselves in this store, and they let this biker out, and they kind of string him on a line. And they send him out the front doors to kind of... I think they were trying to get a car or a vehicle.
Did the biker volunteer for this? Or did they just send him the fuck out?
He wanted to do it. So like they send him out, and then the line tugs really hard, and then they're pulling it back, and they see blood coming through the door. And then they're all freaking out. And it was just like a mangled mess that they drag up. And they're like, oh, God, you know. So now they're like... Definitely don't mess with the mist.
Dude, I love that kind of stuff, though.
Definitely an interesting factor in this one is the character of Mrs. Carmody. So she is this... I'm not going to say she's religious, because at first she was...
Pious?
She was religious, like, to herself, but she wasn't outwardly religious.
So, like, very pious?
Kind of.
Just kind of evangelical, but not, like, overly so?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she was kind of keeping to herself. She would pray to herself, but and everybody kind of thought she was the town loony.
Right. So
it was something that they kind of just flowed with, and they just told her to shut up and kind of moved to the back when she started spouting her crap.
Right.
So once they really got into it, things started taking a turn when the front windows start getting attacked by these giant bugs. And the front windows...
are they the insects that are kind of like bees with scorpion stingers?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
So it was like this big plate glass window in front. And actually, this is where like the next bit of trivia comes from. The actual book, Stephen King's inspiration for writing it, came from him driving by a store in Maine, seeing a grocery store with these big plate glass windows and wondering, I wonder if giant bugs could get through those.
You see, this is why he's my favorite author, because he'll look at anything and go, what kind of monster could smash that?
Like, isn't that the weirdest shit? Like, you look at a skyscraper building and you see fucking windows. My first thought is, how do they clean that shit? Fuck. I see graffiti on a bridge, and I'm just like, how the fuck did they get there?
That's my first question, too.
Fucking Stephen King is like, what monster? Oh, my God. Oh, I could write a whole book on that.
What could this lamp do? Ooh.
Yeah. so anyway, so it was a big thing right there for him, for his inspiration on that.
So is this kind of around where Miss Carmody starts believing that it's all Armageddon?
This is where she starts getting her followers.
Okay.
So a giant bug comes in, and everybody's getting attacked, and people are getting burned alive because they're trying to... So this guy gets burned up because he's trying to bring fluid over to kind of burn one of the bugs alive, but he lights himself on fire on accident. I think some shit happens and he lights himself on fire.
What a party foul.
So they put him out in time, but Mrs. Carmody is standing there and she's doing a prayer, and a bug comes in and it lands on her, like right on her face, pretty much. And this thing is like half of her fucking torso, but it doesn't sting her, and it just goes away. So everybody's like, holy shit, like, and then this is where she kind of gets this whole I'm chosen, I'm religion incarnate pretty much crap. And it starts kind of forming two groups, pretty much. The group of followers and the group of this is nuts. And I kind of went back and I tried counting the days that they spent in this store, and it seemed to me to be only 3 to 4 days.
Right.
Which I was sitting here like, that's extreme.
Yeah.
You know, it was really a fast turnaround from everybody being normal and level-headed and telling the religious chick to shut up to everybody going, I'm converting. Because by this point, it's only like day 2.
Right.
So, like, they flipped that switch quick.
You know, it doesn't take much to find God, dude.
But, like, that's I've kind of always gone back and forth, because this has always been my one major problem with this movie is they turn fast. Like, they turn on them quick. So what happens is with the religious, I'll just kind of run through the religious points real quick on this. Once she starts gaining her following, they decide that they need sacrifices to appease them.
Oh,
so
yay.
they sacrifice one of the soldiers, saying that he knows something or he's the part of the sin or something like that, and they stab him in the stomach.
Whoa.
Like almost the entire store is turned on them. And they stab the guy in the stomach, and they pick him up and toss him out the doors, and he gets killed by this kind of like praying mantis looking thing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it was really like a fast turnaround to the point where like people were just like, okay, we just want to leave. Right. We're gonna take some shit and go. But by the time they were trying to leave, it was a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, or 4 or 5 people. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 5, because one dies.
Spoiler alert.
You don't hear it today, boys. So 5 people. 5, I think maybe 6 if one extra one die that I forgot about. They just want to leave. And so they put some stuff by the front door, and they decide they're going to go. And then the moment they see them, they all try rushing them and sacrificing them.
That's insane.
And like that's how fast it happened. Like that's how fast it
They
turned.
literally found it overnight.
Like it was
God
crazy.
overnight.
And I'm sitting here and I'm going back and forth and I've hemmed and hawed, and I still haven't really landed on how I feel about it because I don't like how fast it happened.
Right.
But I also understand
You need to move that movie
extreme
along.
Circumstances.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at move the movie along so much.
I tend to look at it as a filmmaker standpoint.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's how would somebody actually react in those situations when somebody is spouting that religious crap and some miracle type thing happens?
With intense situations, emotions run wild.
Exactly.
Right.
And yeah, you're always going to have those religious holdouts, but I think part of my problem is like how fast everybody took it. So anyway, kind of getting back to the thing. The guy that's down he was like burned alive. He was needing medicine, so they make a trip next door to the pharmacy.
Okay.
And they're all kind of holding some sort of fashioned weapon. And they get over there and they're trying to deal with the issue. They're trying to get some medicine up, and they realize, holy shit, there are weird spider webs everywhere. And these spider monsters start attacking. And some are fucking big, and then there's other little baby ones. And they
dude,
start
my girlfriend would
getting
have
on people.
lost her damn mind.
The baby ones. Those baby ones.
That bad, huh?
Dude,
Cringy.
Like, oh, Jesus. Like, it reminded me of that scene from The Mummy where that one spirit gets up onto the skin. Times 10,000.
Ouch. That's a big roll.
Yeah. So, yeah, they get over there and they're trying to just go through their shit, And yeah, then this whole religious thing happens, and they realize we've got to get the fuck out of here.
Right.
They're sacrificing people, and they're not sacrificing the people that believe.
What I'm surprised with is how quickly they started sacrificing people.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's always been one of my issues.
Yeah.
Is they flipped hard.
Yeah.
And they flipped fast. And I'm just like, I'm always been back and forth on that, man. It's the only reason I've ever felt some type of negativity towards it, man. So they finally escape. Mrs. Carmody gets shot in the head on the way out.
Woohoo!
Yeah, good. It was a good scene. It was fantastic. You felt good about it.
I lived for scenes like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, where you're just like, oh, yeah.
Oh, man, I've been wanting you to die. So yeah, that she gets shot in the head as they're on their way out. They escape. They lose one or two on the way out. And then one of them like kind of hits hard because you're like, no, not him. He was cool. So yeah, they're on their way out, and they make it out, get into a car, and they start driving. And they're driving, and they're just looking for some sort of way out. And they've been driving for a while now, and there's nothing. It's just mist as far as the eye can see, man. And finally, they run out of gas, pull over on the side of the road. His son is asleep. They went to the first stop they made was at their house.
Right.
And the house was collapsed in, and the mom's dead.
Oh, dude, that's a bummer.
So they just go.
Right.
Keep going.
Right, of course.
So they've gone, and the gas runs out, son's asleep, and they're looking at each other, and they pull out the gun that they used to shoot their way out, and they're like, we've got, I think there was 4 of us, 3 bullets. And Thomas Jane's character, the dad, takes it, and he shoots the 2 passengers, and then there's a small pause, and then he shoots the 3rd time, and that's him killing his son.
Yeah.
And then he just has it up against his head, and he's pulling that trigger and pulling that trigger and pulling that trigger, and it's just not doing it.
I can't imagine the amount of pain that guy is going through.
He jumps out of the car, and he's just waiting.
Yeah.
He's just wanting them to kill him. And they see the mist starts clearing up.
Start hearing those trucks
and
in the
the
distance.
truck comes by, and military's flamethrower and shit. And the worst part of it all is you see one of the people from the supermarket that dipped out first with their kid.
Oh, God.
On the truck. And he just drops to his knees screaming in pain.
Oh my god.
And that was the end of the movie.
Like that. Oh, dude, that would crush me. But such a good ending.
To me, I think it's a great ending.
It's something nobody really does. You know, everybody's looking forward to that happy ending.
It's either everybody wants that complete happy ending or the complete hopelessness ending. Mm-hmm. This is that middle ground of, I've done this thing, I now have to live with this hell.
Yeah.
And that is the most brutal kind of thing to me. Because, like, you've gone through all this horror and all this hell, and now you've got this on top of it.
Right.
You have no wife, you have no son now, and you're going to blame yourself till the end of time. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's something, you know, that it's action, you know.
Yeah.
You have to move forward. That's what's always it's a thing that's constantly bothered me in horror movies, is when people just hide from a killer.
Right.
Run or attack. Mm-hmm. Make a choice, make an action, because as long as you know, whether you move forward or you move backwards, you move.
They're gonna find that closet.
Exactly.
No matter how much you get in that closet and you hear that. Because they're covering their goddamn mouth.
People that can't control their fucking breathing. But that's the thing, is you've got to make that choice, and he made the choice.
Right.
Whether that's a good choice or a bad choice, he made the choice. And that's the choice that he now has to live with, and I think it's just a great ending. And what's fascinating is that it's taken, like, everybody hates, this is the most controversial fucking ending, and everybody fucking hates it. This ending was almost taken directly from the book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, in the book, the ending is written in a journal and left on a restaurant table that the survivors have stopped at just before their car runs out of gas. And in the journal, he writes in the journal saying, oh man, like, there's 4 of us and we've got 3 bullets. And then he shuts that, and then they get in the car and he leaves the journal behind and they go. And Frank Darabont felt that it was too much of an ambiguous ending and made the choice to be more finite.
Stephen King was known kind of for those, though.
Well, here's the thing. This ending, Stephen King came back and said he wished he would have thought of that.
Right. Dude, that would be the biggest compliment.
Is that alone should redeem the movie to me.
Right. Yeah.
When the author is still sitting there telling you, that is a better ending to my book, and I love that. Yeah. That should be praise in the movie by itself.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
Without
a doubt. Because Stephen King has been known from time to time to backlash on directors. He doesn't always praise them. He praised the new It, yeah, and he praised this movie, but, like, you go back to The Shining and Stanley Kubrick, and he never forgave Stanley Kubrick for The Shining. Ever.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
so
there was
like,
a
to get
lot
that
of
praise,
stuff in The Shining that went wrong, and that's part of Stanley Kubrick's just MO.
He always did that when it came to Clockwork Orange, when it came to The Shining. He was known for
things to the extreme all the time.
Yeah, but like for Stephen King to come out and say this is a better ending than I could have ever come up with.
Oh yeah,
that's
an honor.
Oh, yeah. I would cry, and I'd be like, all right, I'm done. I'm done working.
I wouldn't.
There's no way I can make anything better. There's no way.
Oh yeah, and I think just, to me, phenomenal.
Oh God, yeah.
Beautifully ended, beautifully scripted. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean that's how it is. It's one of the most controversial endings to date.
Yeah, like I said, whenever I bring it up, people, it's either their least favorite or it's their most favorite. 9 times out of 10, there's always that one time where I'll never hear about it because somebody hasn't seen the damn movie.
Yeah. A couple of little things. Frank Darabont has adapted 3 of Stephen King's works.
Really?
He has done The Mist. He has done Shawshank Redemption.
I love Shawshank. And Green Mile. See, I love those movies so much. He did a great job with those.
Yep. So
I didn't know he did The Mist.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
So he did that, and
that's the only horror book that he did of Stephen King's, horror movie that he did of Stephen King's.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah.
And then he went on to do The Walking Dead, and a lot of the actors from The Mist have been in The Walking Dead.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thomas Jane was actually originally going to be Rick Grimes.
Oh, okay.
So that was changed later on. A lot of things got pushed around, but Thomas Jane was originally supposed to be Rick Grimes, and I thought that was a absolutely fascinating bit of...
I actually would have liked him better than the guy that's playing him now. Although, I read the comics, and I'm not a huge fan of the show, but I haven't really given the show a chance.
Yeah. And, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, it's not for everybody. I think you should watch it for sure.
I mean, crucify me. I don't like the fact that Daryl Dixon is a character. He's not in the books.
All I'm saying, just give it a chance.
Right. And I will.
That's
I
all
will at some point. I promise.
So this movie was actually shot in 37 days.
Nice.
The whole movie was shot in 37 days.
That's awesome.
They took the camera crew from The Shield because they are like known for being fast. It was like a break in between the seasons from shooting The Shield, and they borrowed the same crew, and they had an A crew and a B crew, and that's how
they're
they
just
got
like,
shot.
hey, look, we need to get this shit done.
Exactly. Like this crew is known for getting it done.
That's awesome.
And that's how they got it done.
That's kind of interesting.
So, yeah,
I really need to watch this movie now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a great movie. I definitely recommend it.
For sure.
Even if you don't like the ending, I think the monster creations alone are fascinating.
Right.
So definitely something to check out. Our bad.
Oh, here we go.
Like I said, I've got that sequelitis in my bones.
See, but here's the thing about this one is I've watched a couple episodes with you, and from what I saw was golden. So I'm really interested to hear what you have to say about how this is bad, and I'm kind of afraid now.
So, like I said, I got that sequelitis in me. Gotta get my bones. Gotta be down in my bones. We are talking about The Mist TV series, the Netflix adaptation.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
I've heard a lot of things about this. I heard that it feels like it was canceled halfway through.
It has been officially canceled. They will not go on to do a second season.
Oh, that's
even
good.
though they left it on a cliffhanger.
Oh, God.
And, like, that's kind of the big thing. Like, topic points on this damn thing. Like, so... I'm going to try to broad stroke it. This is a 10-episode run. I'm pretty sure it was 10 episodes. It was 10 to 13. Like, it's bad. That's how bad it is. Like, I couldn't even remember. Like, it's blended together, and I'm just like, oh, well, there's my life gone. So yeah, this it starts out with this couple. They're in this idyllic little town, and the daughter is this teenager that's upset because she can't go to some party. She's got this emo-looking friend that everybody calls gay, and he's constantly picked on, and he's
I think I remember these two from.
Yeah, you probably do. So the daughter goes to the party. The dad allows her to go to the party, so she goes to the party, comes back, and they come in the next morning. They find out that she was raped.
Ouch.
Yeah. So the mom blames the dad. Mom is now overprotective mom through the rest of the series.
Oh, great.
The emo kid says it was the football quarterback of the high school team that says it was him, because he says that he saw him take her upstairs, and then that was it. The quarterback's name is Jay. The emo kid is Adrian. The girl is Alex. So Adrian swears up and down that it was Jay. She doesn't remember, so she's just going off what he says.
Right.
So anyway, Kevin, the dad, and Eve, the mom, are super at odds. She blames him entirely for what happened.
Of course.
They go to the mall. While at the mall, the mist rolls in. Dad goes to the police station as the mist rolls in. So in this one, the mist is not specific monsters. And this is kind of where I start having issues. And there was some things. There was some things that I kind of liked. There was a lot that I didn't.
Right.
So it was like supposed to be more like the mist plays tricks on your mind. So you'll hear voices and things like that, and you'll experience all sorts of visuals and intricacies from. It's kind of like a drug trip almost. But the problem I had is that there are massive portions where people run through the mist for long periods of time and don't have any effect. There's a scene where they run from the church all the way to a gas station and nothing happens.
And they don't explain this at all.
Nothing. They don't explain it whatsoever. Because later on, they'll have the same people in the mist and they'll be affected all of a sudden. And sometimes it's deadly and sometimes it's not.
So in this one, it's more like the mist itself is a living being and it's picking and choosing who it messes with.
Which I didn't like.
Yeah.
So in this one, they have the new Mrs. Carmody.
Yeah, I didn't like her when I saw that.
Natalie, or Nathalie, or however you pronounce it. The subtitles spell it Nathaleie, and I was like, okay, that spells Nathalie, but I'm gonna call you Natalie.
I've seen it spelled that way before.
Okay, So Natalie is going through and gets into the mist, and she's with her husband, and some guy runs up and he's kind of crazed, and he doesn't know who's real and who's not, and shoots the husband.
See, I kind of like that though.
I kind of like the trip out from people.
Yeah, where your mind fucks with you so much that you're like, now I can't discern from what's reality and what is not.
But you could easily accomplish that with monsters as well.
Yeah.
With just straight up monsters.
Yeah.
So, and this happens like multiple times where she will come out and go out into the mist and somebody else will come out to try to stop her being a good Samaritan and they will get killed. So some guy goes out and like a wasp or a moth flies into his ear and then bursts through his back. Like this giant moth bursts through his back. And everybody sees it. And then she just saunters back inside, and now she thinks she's this elemental goddess. And then her and a preacher go out because they're having kind of this internal war where people have, like Mrs. Carmody, have started believing in her side of things.
Now, that's where I came in with you.
This is a much smaller group of people. And there was something that happened where she was praising a spider in a jar. For like being a god, and she dumps it out. The priest runs up, dumps it out, and squashes the spider. And she's breaking down, crying, and he walks away. And then like she picks up the jar, and she's okay again because there's just a shit ton of babies in it. And you're like, come on,
yay, proof.
Oh my god. And this is what starts turning people because they're like, okay, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
So the priest walks out with her kind of as like a trial by fire sort of thing to prove whose god is better.
Yeah.
And
the four horsemen somehow.
Yeah, the four horsemen of the apocalypse pop up for some fucking reason. And,
because religion?
Yeah. And then they kill the priest.
Yeah.
Mind you, she's naked.
Yeah, she is stark naked.
I don't know why. It is wrong. It didn't need to happen. Stop it, movie.
Oh,
stop it.
And you get to see booty.
Yeah, you see old lady booty.
Oh, it's not a good
saggy, sight. And they linger on that old lady booty.
Oh yeah. Oh.
It happens. Oh. And you have to watch it. Anyways, so,
I still see it.
Yeah, you don't see it in your dreams.
Yeah, my dreams.
So, anyways, so she walks out and he walks out, and the four horsemen take him, and she walks back in, and now everybody's fully on board with her. Like almost everybody is fully on board with her.
Right.
And the people that aren't on board with her, she takes like two I think it's her and the police officer who is the father of Jay, the quarterback that was accused.
Right.
She takes him, and they go out and lock the doors of the church with people inside it and light that bitch on fire.
Yeah. And that was rough.
Murder fucking everyone. It was her and 2 others.
And you just hear screaming, blood-curdling screaming on the inside, and I'm just like, that's fucking hardcore. Oh. Yeah, okay. That's a thing that happens. So they go into some underground cellar, and they're heading to the mall because she says she knows how to pretty much make it stop. And then on the way to the mall, one guy slips. The 2 believers are following them. Yeah.
Guy slips, breaks his ankle.
And then, was it his wife?
And he's starting, like, he can't come up the ladder, so she just, like, leaves him. And then the woman's like, we've got to help her, we got to help him. And I think...
One of them shoots her in the head.
Was it shoots her in the head?
Yeah, no, the cop shoots her in the head, so she falls down with him.
Something like that.
It was rough. It was
unnecessary.
Oh, God.
It didn't make sense.
No, not from what I could tell.
Like, in that situation, you have followers. You aren't judge, jury, and executioner in this scenario. You are only supposed to be doing it because you knew how to appease the mist, as it were.
Well, you know that radicalists start to believe inside their mind that they are judge, jury, and executioner because they believe that they are talking for the God.
Yes, but this is the issue that I have is that the God wasn't saying that they needed to be punished to stop the mist or to appease the mist.
Right.
It was they agreed to follow, and then all of a sudden they need to die.
Right.
So that made no sense. Anyway, so we're going to jump back over to Kevin, the dad, who has joined up with 2 of the inmates from the police station that he let out of jail.
Wait, 2 what now?
2 people that were locked in fucking jail that he took keys and let the fuck out.
For no reason.
They were sitting there like saying that he needs, hey, come on, man, like, you need to let me out. I saw this mist in the forest. It's coming to kill us all. It's coming to kill my dog. It killed my dog. And then like the chick, she's in there, I think on drug charges or something. But she's just sitting there like, are you really gonna let us die? You really gonna let just leave us in here while everybody else is gone?
Yep.
Yeah. what part of yeah. Yes, I'm leaving you. Fuck yourself. I don't know what you're in here for.
Right. Yeah.
And like the first thing she does is go straight for the fucking what's the
like
supply? The confiscated items, and
find drugs.
Tries to go for bills. And I'm like, are you shitting me?
Are you surprised?
Are you shitting me? So he's traveling with them, and with Adrian.
Yes. Okay. This is where I thought it got interesting because he decides to go to his parents' house.
This later that happens. The first thing. So the cop was supposed to be pulling up the car to get them. Cop sees the other cop that is dead, and dips, and just leaves them behind. So Adrian, the 2 inmates, and Kevin get to the church by running through the mist, completely unaffected. Or no, they were... I think... Did they try?
No, yes, because I remember this. They are getting chased by some dude with a baseball bat? Looks kind of like Negan.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they were driving, and then they had to get out, and they had to run the rest of the way to the church.
Yeah.
The cop was driving, hit a deer, then had to run the rest of the way to the church. None of them were affected.
Yeah, no.
And like this, it's what keeps bugging me is there is no like everybody's so afraid of this mist, but so many people survive in this mist.
Right.
And it doesn't come through the homes. As long as the doors are shut, it's fine. As long as there's no holes, it's fine. And yet everybody's getting fucked with.
Right.
But the main characters. Surprise, surprise.
Right.
So,
of course.
Anyway, so they finally They make it to the church. They come across the cop. Mm-hmm. He punches the cop almost right off the bat because, like, how dare you leave us?
Right. So
they chill at the church for a while. I'm gonna speed through this because it's like fucking forever. They spent a long time at this goddamn church. They spent a while at this church. They finally dip. Take a car. Mm-hmm. No, they run. They run through the mist again.
Yeah.
And get through to a gas station where they hole up for a while at this gas station. And I'm now sitting here going, can we move this along? So they dip from the gas station and they get to a hospital. This is where shit gets weird.
Okay.
So at the hospital, they are trying to... I think they're just trying to take some shelter for a bit. One of the guys gets injured. One of the inmates gets injured, and they're trying to get him healed up. So they're taking care of him. Oh yeah, he gets shot at the gas station.
Yeah.
So they're trying to heal him up, and they're at the hospital. Everybody's kind of fucking around, and the guy that was bullying Adrian at the first party, comes up to him he sees him, and they don't say anything to each other.
Right.
And then the guy goes into the bathroom, and then Adrian follows.
Great idea.
And I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
So then they're in the bathroom, and they're pissing next to each other. And I'm like,
First issue, they're pissing next to each other.
Yeah, because the dude was pissing.
Yeah.
The
as soon as you come up next to me, especially in this kind of situation, I'm punching your lights out.
The jock was pissing, and then he walks up next to him, starts pissing, and then they're doing whatever. They're like, the guy goes away and goes to the sink, starts washing his hands, and like he turns around and like kind of like walks up on him and like, what are you doing here? And like the Adrian was like, what are you doing here? To the jock, and the jock was like, oh, my family, this is just a rest spot. And then like he keeps like encroaching in on him, and then like kisses him, and you're like, okay, this is the first time I knew he was gay. I knew they made fun of him for being gay, but first confirmation of the fact, duly noted. Duly noted.
Right.
So just plants one right on his lips, and then immediately gets the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah. You're telling me that he just like decks him shit out of him,
and then starts kicking the hell out of him on the ground. And then the guy just like leans up against the wall. He's just like, what the fuck, man? And then like kid gets up and he's like, ow, and like stands up and then goes right back to making out. Like some Mr. and Mrs. Smith shit. They just start fucking going to town making out. And I'm like, wait, what?
Okay, I'm going to say this right now. For anybody that's listening to this thinking that we're laughing that this is a gay moment, no. This would be equally as awkward if it was a man kissing a woman or a woman kissing a woman.
No.
This is just an awkward
so
moment.
Much more awkward in those situations.
Right.
Like, this is already awkward because, like, dude just beat the hell out of him.
Yeah.
Like, if it was two women, it would be just, like, as awkward as this moment.
Ultimate masochism right there.
Like, it would be worse, like 100,000 times worse if it was a dude beating a chick.
Oh, God, yeah.
Or a chick beating a dude.
Right, of course.
But this is, like, two kids, both in high school. Jock beats the shit out of this kid. This kid just gets up and starts Frenching him. Frenching him hard. And I'm like, wait, what? And then the dude is accepting it. He's Frenching him back. Like, that's what's fucking with me right now. I don't care that I'm watching a gay scene. I've watched gay scenes. I'm good with gay scenes.
Oh, yeah, fuck yeah. Like, that's
why are y'all Frenching after you just beat the shit out of him? You are the most confused gay person I've ever seen. So then it was like and apparently, like, so they go into like a little bit of backstory, and he's been like secret gay the whole time, the jock.
Of course.
Because he's like, I saw how this kid was looking at you, so I beat the shit out of him. I broke one of his arms, and then I pulled my dick out, and I pissed all over, and I'm like, whoa, what in the fuck?
Like, this kid deserves to be in a psych ward.
Yeah. Definitely deserves to be in a psych ward. So it was fucking just like, what the shit? And then all of a sudden, this jock super cares about this guy.
Yeah.
For the rest of the hospital sequence, he super cares about Adrian. And you're like, none of this makes sense.
Isn't this around the time where they find the psycho guy?
Yep. So this was kind of like a little side bit. They find sanctuary in a psych ward. One of the doctors or nurses helps them in, kind of lets them in and locks up behind them because the mist has broken through the hospital.
Right.
They get into the psych ward area, and they're all kind of gone their separate ways and they're sleeping. Wake up, see Adrian. Yeah, Adrian's gone. Yeah. And they all freak out and they start running through the halls trying to find him. And they found out that there's one of the
patients.
Well, he's actually, the guy that was the nurse is actually one of the patients.
Yeah.
And he thinks that he can sense evil inside of people. Which, that's a whole thing. But anyway, they trick him, they beat him down, kill him, and then they make their way out to heading to they're on their way to the mall, and Adrian says he needs to stop by his house.
This was a scene that I actually thought was pretty good. Because you start to see the psycho in Adrian.
Yeah.
On top of the fact of you start to understand him a little bit.
A little bit, but not
completely. Because there's certain things that you just cannot forgive somebody for.
But so Adrian finds his house. His mom is dead. Ugh. His dad is eating at the table, says there's food on the counter. He starts chowing down. And then they kind of start getting into it. Dad admits that, I never really loved you. You're gay and I hate you. And, the way you act, I fucking hate you. But your mom always loved you and you were killing your mom and all this.
Yeah, your mom's dead because of you.
Yeah. And Adrian kills his dad.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to cut here. We're going to jump back to it. Let's go to the mall.
Okay. Yeah.
Head to the mall, talking about Eve, the mom, Alex, and Jay, the son. Jay has been found that he is also locked in the mall, and Eve is like fucking super mama bear, like, fuck off, you fuck off. So
some people are already not believing the fact that this girl was raped.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people in town that don't believe it.
Yeah. That she was just crying wolf, had sex with a guy, and then the next morning, I didn't mean to say yes.
Exactly. So they think she's crying wolf. They're calling the mom a whore, all this stuff. And then the one that was like mainly doing it leaves. The mist comes, and she gets her jaw ripped off. Which honestly, like, the kills in this are actually decent.
Right.
And I liked them. I really liked them. But the story is what kills me. I don't like this story at all. And I don't like the mist in general in this one. Just because the way it acts sometimes is so strange.
Yeah, after reading the book and hearing what you're telling me, I'm just like, dude, this sounds like complete garbage.
Yeah. I can't even, like, I've tried looking a little bit today. I can't find anything about Stephen King responding to this.
Yeah,
and I feel like I know what he
No goods is bad news on this one.
I'm gonna look a little deeper, and I'll let you all know next week if I can find anything. But anyways, so they're at the mall. Everybody's just trying to survive, pretty much. The main faction, the food runs out at some point. The main faction staying in the front, near the front doors. They kind of split with Eve, Alex, heading to a different part of the mall with a couple other members, heading to like a storage unit, pretty much, like a storage area. There's a lot of tension in the mall because of that, and like food is running low, and a whole bunch of craziness. But pretty like some of the big points that happen here are Eve constantly seeing Jay talking to Alex, because Jay swears up and down he didn't do it. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. He didn't do it.
And she's believing him.
And she's starting to believe him, and they start getting closer. And that's like one of the relationships that you're kind of skeptical about.
Really?
Because up to this point, Alex is super afraid of Jay. He's got no reason to believe that Adrian would have lied.
Right.
So then Jay corners him and says, I swear to God, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Big spoiler there. Adrian is the one that did it.
I was going to get to it. Jesus.
Well, you kind of just threw it out there.
No, I didn't.
You had no reason to suspect Adrian.
Had lied. About Jay.
Oh. All right. Spoiler alert.
God. Killed me. Anyway, you jerk. Alex and Jay start getting closer together and closer together and closer together, and the mom fucking hates it. So what happens, it gets to the point where, like, Jay saves Alex from a burning room that one of the mothers start, because Alex was watching the daughter, and then they get two idiots leave a door open. The fog gets in, and they're running through this bookstore. She loses the kid. The kid gets to the front, but right as she gets to the front, the mist gets her. And, like, it's weird because, like, it's this dark figure, like a man-shaped figure that, like, standing above her, and then, like, just, like, sucks her life force out. And the mom sees it. And then...
Like a Dementor from Harry Potter?
Kinda. It's weird, man. It's really weird.
This whole fucking show sounds...
So then they go up, and, like, the demon thing is, like, in front of Alex, but doesn't do shit to her. She sees it, but it doesn't do anything to her. And then she gets out, and the mom's like, well, what the fuck? You are unaffected. It doesn't want you. You're evil.
Oh, of course.
So, yeah. So she tries to light her on fire while she's in a room.
There's a lot of lighting on fire in this one.
Oh, yeah. Jay busts through the door and saves her, and which kind of affirms in her mind, for some reason, that he couldn't have possibly done anything. But Eve is still super, super angry about it. So Eve locks Jay in a room.
Yeah.
And then while this is all going down, the leader, the mall, like, manager, pretty much, somebody finds out that he has, like, this stash of food that he's snacking on up in his office. And he runs up, and, like, they're in an empty hallway when they confront each other, and he bashes her head in. And it was the mother that tried to light her on fire.
Oh, shit.
And then,
what are you doing?
And then they, like, a bunch of people hear the scuffle, and they see him on the ground, kind of, like, freaked out a little bit. And he goes, it was Alex. I can't believe it. It was Alex.
Oh, what are you doing, Bob? Yeah. What are you doing?
Exactly. Blames Alex. They turn into an angry mob.
Of course.
Now they're gunning for them. And it's about this time that we're going to cut back to Adrian and Kevin. Kevin comes in, sees that Adrian's dad is dead. He's still super protective of him, saying, like, yeah, you'll be family with us, like, forever.
Right,
Don't worry about a thing. And then he's in the bathroom, and he sees that Adrian has pills. Kevin sees Adrian has a bunch of pills.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are these for? And then it kind of comes, from all of that, comes out the fact that Adrian is the one that raped
his daughter.
Oh, God. So, and then there's this whole fight sequence, and the dad gets knocked out. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think it was a fight sequence. I think he, like, snuck up on him, or
he got
the drop
weird.
on him.
I saw this.
He got the drop on him and knocked the dad out. Then Adrian runs out to the car where
leaves the door open,
where the inmates were. Says that, hey, we've got to get out of here. My dad killed him. Mm-hmm. This whole crazy bit. And then they take off and go to the mall. So the dad gets up. He's furious. And one of the two idiots that left the door open for the mist to get in at the mall that was banished, that guy finds Kevin and kind of saves him. Okay. So they make it back to the mall, and now it's this whole rendezvous thing. Everybody's coinciding at the mall now. Right. Natalie and the cop make it. Everybody's kind of turning to the cop for answers because he's a cop. Right. The cop finds Jay. They take Jay, and Natalie's saying, hey, you have to kill your son. It's the only way.
God, this whole thing just sounds so goddamn convoluted.
Exactly.
So I would get so confused about halfway through this damn show.
Dude, it's insane. So they kick him out. They kick his son out. He kicks his son out. Pushes his son outside into the mist. And he's like crying, and then it's just saying, nothing's happened, nothing's clearing up. He goes, just give it time. Give it time. The mist the mist will take it and it will clear. So, like, the dad is just devastated, And so later on, they find Kevin finds Adrian and beats the shit out of him. Beats the dog shit out of this boy. This is after Adrian had found Alex and Eve and told them that Kevin was dead. So they believe their dad is dead and that he's kind of the only family they've got now. It's this weird whole... It gets uncomfortable at this point because you don't feel comfortable like watching this, knowing that what he did, it makes you squirm. And I guess that's the intended effect, but it's not a good thing. You don't want that.
No, I don't want to feel uncomfortable watching something. There's between feeling uncomfortable and feeling
tense.
Tense. You want that tense, you want that build up in your chest, but you don't want to watch us going, oh my god, this is disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. So they get out. Jay saves. They get kicked out after Kevin makes it back. Adrian escapes, doesn't die. They all kick them out, and the whole mall kicks everybody out. They all are running through the mist. Nobody's getting affected. All of a sudden, Alex gets affected, and this fog is just pouring into her mouth, but not killing her. She's just comatose. And then Jay finds her, saves her.
The Winchesters.
Yeah. Jay finds her, saves her, and then the smoke takes him, kills him pretty quickly after though, for some reason. So they haul ass, and they find a Hummer, and they're hauling ass through, and then the dad is like, you know what? And he throws it into reverse and slams through the front door, letting the mist in to kill everybody in the mall.
Jesus.
And you're just like, that's cool. Your family's in the car.
Yeah.
Maybe worry about them. So the mist is coming through and it's murdering everybody. And probably the most disturbing one is Natalie. Natalie dies by the mist. Good. But that doesn't make sense because this whole time she's been walking freely into the mist with her beliefs and not being affected. So it makes no sense. Right. So so what happens is she sees her husband. She sees her dead husband.
Oh, great.
Sits right next to him, and he puts his arm around her, and then she there's a baby.
There's a fucking what now?
There's a baby.
Oh, yay.
The mom, the dad, the husband hands her a baby, and she whips her titty out. You don't see it, but she whips her titty out and starts feeding the baby, and the baby sucks the life out of her until she's a husk. You ever had sex so good you sucked the life out of a titty? No. So,
dude, I need to have sex like that now, though. Good God.
Better not, because you're going to be in a Stephen King movie. Anyway,
hey, I want to be in a Stephen King movie.
Sorry, Stephen King TV series.
Oh, God, no.
Different things.
Nope, never mind.
So anyway, that's... then they get the cop in the car. Oh, wait, I got to backtrack. Just before they kick everybody out, they find out that Alex is actually the daughter of Eve and Connor the cop.
Great.
Alex lets that gem, or Eve lets that gem spill about Alex. Now everybody's calling her a whore and telling her that she's despicable and all this. And I'm like, so she has a daughter by another man. Who the fuck cares? Wow. But no, everybody in town like, you're a whore. Get the fuck out of here. And
telling this to Eve?
Yeah. And they kick him out. And I'm like, that's the reason? But this makes the entire fucking thing gross because that means Jay and Alex are related.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're half-siblings that made out multiple times in this fucking series.
Oh, that's some Game of Thrones nasty ass shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, dude, I'm not okay with this show whatsoever.
This last episode got buck wild. So then they all dip and they're driving down the road. The cop gets in with them, which that's just fucking weird. That's gotta be awkward, right?
Yeah.
And they pull up to a train station, and they're like, yeah, we'll get on the train. We'll just get the hell out of town. This couldn't have spread that far.
Right.
And the train pulls up, and it's soldiers throwing prisoners off into the mist.
Oh.
And the dad says, they're like, what are they doing? What are they doing? And the dad looks and says, they're feeding it. Exactly. What the fuck?
So now it's become a government conspiracy.
Yes. It's now a government conspiracy.
They have just actually made this thing a truly living being by saying they're feeding it.
Now, this wasn't an accidental portal opened and they're trying to fix some shit. No, they are doing this on purpose, feeding this thing and trying to keep it alive. And what the absolute fuck? Wow. And that's the cliffhanger ending they leave it on.
Yo, fuck this show.
Yeah, no, it's fucking stupid.
Because from what I saw, watching it with you, it actually looked pretty decent. There were a few what the fuck moments, but like, after hearing all of this shit, it's just like, one, it's convoluted and confusing. Two, makes no fucking sense.
Oh, yeah.
As it is. And three, it has gone so far off the rails that... Thank God they're not doing a second season.
Mind you, I left a lot of shit out. Like, that was the cliff
notes. Yeah. Like, good. Do I have to watch this show now? I'm gonna. I'm still gonna.
Do that at your own risk.
Yeah, I'm still gonna.
That's a waste of goddamn life right there. So, yeah,
that's incredible, dude. Yeah. Thank you for those 2 picks. That's nutso.
Yeah.
Well, after this is done, I'm definitely gonna watch The Mist, though.
Oh, yeah, the movie, without a doubt.
Do you own
that
it?
Shit. I'm pretty sure I do.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna need to borrow that.
if I don't, then fuck, I'm fucking up.
Right.
Anyway, as always, we're gonna head into our final segment of the day. Some
accidental horror. Dude, I love these. I live for these. I've been looking at them left and right. Like I really have. Every time I watch a movie, I'm like, do something. Like I've been watching Peaky Blinders, and I'm like, oh, dude, make me jump. So this one is actually one of my favorites from one of my favorite trilogies of all time, The Matrix.
This favorite trilogy?
Dude, it's one of them. It's one of them. You know Lord of the Rings and Star Wars are the holy trilogies. Nothing comes above them. But this as a kid just brought me into this whole new thing of I was just getting into video games.
Even with the third one?
Okay, the third one was off. But, I mean, I kind of like the ending, the final fight. That's the whole reason why I like it, is the fight between Neo and you know.
And the Superman fight.
It was fun. It was fun.
Whatever. I'm not getting into it.
But, yeah, this one's from the first Matrix movie, the great Keanu Reeves sitting in a interrogation room with the
agents.
The agents, yeah. Agent Smith talking to him, just setting down his thing, just sliding it open, and all of a sudden Elrond is sitting there going, Mr. Anderson, you helped your neighbor take out her garbage. like, what the fuck? And
they go through a whole rigmarole of questioning, and then shit goes wild.
Dude, it goes insane. He's like, Neo is flipping him off and all this shit. Well, yeah, he kind of... Yeah, at one point he's just sitting there and he goes, you have anything to say for yourself? Or something like that, and he just...
I do not remember him flipping him off.
Oh, yeah, he does. I do remember that very clearly for some reason. But he goes, something like, it's kind of hard to speak when you have no mouth or something like that. And all of a sudden, he separates his lips. He's like, whoa, whoa, and it's like gum. Like, it's just molding together flesh. And it just starts to mold together, and then all of a sudden, he has no mouth. It's just an empty space right there. And I'm sitting there going, oh, fuck, this is weird. And they pin him to this table, rip open his shirt, like, out of nowhere, pop out this little, like, antenna-looking thing, and holds it, and it turns into this, like, shrimp mackerel-looking thing. It is a
alien shrimp thing with all these tendrils.
I have a big thing about things climbing into my body that aren't supposed to be in it.
Oh, yeah.
And it goes into his belly button and just climbs on in, and I'm just like, no, I'm so uncomfortable right now. And it terrified me. As a kid, it was absolutely terrifying, but like I watch it nowadays and I'm like, that is brutal.
And then like him waking up.
Yeah,
like
just
immediately after, like it was a
boom.
dream.
Yeah, nothing.
And then they pull it out of him later.
Oh god, and it's car. So bloody. He's like, that thing's fucking real.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
So yeah, oh god, I still remember that
too. I still get uncomfortable thinking about that thing going into his belly button. I'm just like, oh no. Like scenes of things going into people's ears, any orifice. I'm just like, huh.
So yeah, there it is. A little bit of accidental horror right there to end the show.
Yep.
As always, this is our opinion, guys. If you loved the TV series, good on you. If you hated the movie, I understand. There's a lot of people that do.
Oh,
so like I said, these are our opinions. Take them as they come. Mm-hmm. Just know that we're just doing this, and you're just listening to have some fun.
Hey, and next week I'll give you my opinion on both of these, because I've watched them both by this point.
These were my choices for some goods and some bads.
Next week will be mine.
Next week will be his.
Yeah, for sure. That will be the last 2 weeks of every month we will do this. Just please let us know what you have in mind. If you have any complaints or concerns, or if you'd like to praise us, please send us praise, dude. We love it.
If you have any suggestions for some accidental horror,
please
series that you'd like us to do, or anything like that, let us know in those comments down below, or let us know on that Facebook as well.
Yep, Sik&TwistedHorrorcast, just like it's written on our YouTube here, or hit us up at our Gmail. Our email is sickandtwisted at sickandtwistedhorrorcast@gmail.com, and that "and" is spelled out. Please let us know. Keep in touch. We love you guys so much, and we appreciate everything that you're helping us with right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We love you guys, and we appreciate everything that you do for us. Keep us going to do this.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there it is. And as always, he is sick,
and he's twisted.
And this is a Sick and Twisted Horrorcast.
Have a killer week.